when you look at the role that Kwame Nkrumah played, not only in the development of Ghana, but the development of sub-Saharan Africa. We cannot talk about African Union Day without Kwame Nkrumah and the vision he had for the continent. You know, before Ghana gained its independence, and we tend to take that for granted now, no other sub-Saharan African country had dared to think that they could do that. And he was always adamant about all of us being free, because if one country is free and the rest are not free, you can only go so far. You know, it's like this Akan proverb that if you take just one broom, it will break. Yeah. But if you combine it, it won't break. So you know, so it's really, really important that we begin to see how more we can unite. I mean, after is great, but what more can we do? And even with after, how do we ensure that we take full advantage of it? Because it's not enough to just say you're socially free. Without that economic independence, without that one currency, without that united market, we won't be able to get anywhere. And there are companies out there, there are countries out there that benefit from the fact that we are so divided. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a very important thing for all of us to understand that, first of all, our borders are artificial borders, okay, because they were created without cognizance of the individual family relationships, the individual tribal relationships that existed already, right? So some people who looked at the continent and were, for whatever reasons, greed and whatever other reasons that they had, divided up the continent, but largely to our detriment. We need to now look at ourselves and say, listen, the first sub-Saharan African country to be independent was Ghana. Now, what are we going to do with the fact that we are independent from colonial rule? What are we going to do with that? All right, that is going to take us into the next century. Okay, we need to be able to understand that as a people, if we come together, not just physically come together, but mentally, psychologically, understanding that we are one unit and we should function as a unit. If we do that, that's going to take us to a good place. But I went out and had a few conversations with some people, asking them their thoughts about Africa, their aspirations and dreams for Africa. Let's take a look.
Africa is in the center of the world, so Africa should be a masterpiece of the world. Like, if anyone hear about Africa, the person will be like, wow, I would like to visit Africa. But now, we are just gradually going back. So, we're hoping for the best for Africa.
My dream for Africa is a very big one. I don't know. But I think I want to see Africa like the UK, the US, this China. I see how they've developed, and it's like even if there are no other countries in this world, China and then America can actually still stand as a continent on its own, like Asia and then America, they can stand without any other country. And I think I want to see Ghana, Africa like that. Yes.
My dream about Africa is to see Africa going equal with the international. At least what we see anytime we watch through our TVs, whatever we see the Western culture does, at least my dream is one day the African also do same.
Africa should be a better place for us to live. Our leaders should be able to give us a good example for us to follow. In that way, Africa will be a better place for us to live.
Welcome back. So that's what some Ghanaians had to say about this day. How was your experience hearing from
Well, it was
Ghanaians
interesting.
about their thoughts on that?
I realized that not everybody, for example, one of the questions that I asked, which didn't, you don't hear it there, but about the AfTA, the African Free Trade, Continental Free Trade Area. A lot of people didn't even know that they existed, which is funny because we take it for granted that we know we're in the new space, it happened, we followed it and all of that, but they didn't know. So that was, for me, that was insightful. You know, it means that probably
we haven't done enough work for people to understand. And then the one person who knew what it was and could actually say it didn't know how it would even benefit anybody, you know. So, but we do have some thoughts from people outside Ghana as well. Let's take a look at that.
See now how important it is. As we are trying to fight this pandemic, we need to do more so that we can prevent the near future pandemics. We need to include ourselves in this battle so that we can get the vaccine, so that we can also be involved in the fight of this pandemic as Africans. When it comes to education, obviously we need to be educated. We need to teach. We need to educate the young generation. They need to know what is going on so that when leaders that are not going to be there tomorrow, at least there are those people who are educated and they know what they are doing. And then when it comes to agriculture, we as Africans, we have a lot of animals. We have a lot that we can produce. But instead of producing, we send out our products to other countries so that they can come out as finished products. But we don't need to do that. We rather need to do it vice versa. We need to produce our own products in Africa.
My dream for Africa is that we all come together as one, that we unite. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. This is my faith, my hope, my dream, that we all work together, put an end to violence, bad administration, corruption, unemployment, and poverty. That is my dream.
When I look at it, what does it mean to me? It means to me a time or a day where we celebrate the independence of our continent, the freedom of our people, the beauty of our countries, and it makes us be able to appreciate who we are more and understand that as Africa we are stronger together.
My African dream is to see our continent achieve financial freedom, to see the day that we do not depend on foreign aid for everything, the day that Africa is declared debt-free. That will be a dream come true.
My dream for Africa is to see an Africa that is decolonized, a self-sustained Africa, as well as an Africa with us, the youth, having an entrepreneurial understanding on a deeper level. Working together, a united Africa is my dream Africa. Happy African Day, everyone.
So that's what some young people across the continent had to say about their hopes and aspirations for this continent moving forward. It's no different from what Nkrumah said. As a matter of fact, if you pick up Africa Must Unite by Kwame Nkrumah, you see that a lot of the issues he talked about that will hinder our development, we're still struggling with them today, right? So another person also talked about Africa that's decolonized. Another book that we can all read is Decolonizing the Mind by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, because in order for us to move forward, we first have to understand where we've come from, where we are, and also where we are going as a unit.
Absolutely. Well, the theme for the AU Day today, and of course, as we said, we are commemorating the African Union Day today. The theme for it is arts, culture, and heritage. Levers for building the Africa that we want. Now, of course, arts, culture, and heritage, the people that spearhead arts, culture, and heritage within the UN is UNESCO. And we have with us the head of office and representative of UNESCO to Ghana, Abdourahamane Diallo. Mr. Abdourahamane Diallo, good morning to you and you're welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us. I love your outfit, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very happy, and I'm really happy to be with you, and thank you for this opportunity, and happy Africa Day to you.
Thank you.
And to start, congratulations for you media really celebrating it today.
Yes. What does this day mean to you?
Well, it's a day of pride. It's a day we should celebrate our continent, our wealthies, our rich culture. And it's a day we should actually, all of us, revisit a little bit our history, our culture, and if we could invite and engage all of us, citizens, students, media, workers, to question about Africa today on culture angle, on economic angle, So it's a celebration really to revisit, to know better of where we come from, where we are, and where we are moving together and collectively.
Yeah, now a lot of people know about the African Union, but before African Union, we had the Organization of African Union. If you can tell us a bit about that and how that was different from the African Union today.
Well, I will say I'm not the ambassador of African Union. I'm the representative of UNESCO, United Nations Education in charge of education, science, and culture. But as a UN agency, we are here to respond to African priorities, to countries' priorities. So on that angle, I am to know about Africa if I am to help Africa. Yeah. So what can I say? I can say that these are this is the gift, the heritage of the African founders. Yeah. Before the election, before the 60s, we had visionary people, visionary Africans, Pan-Africans, and among whom, of course, Kwame Nkrumah. And they are the one who fought about OAU, the Organization of African Unity, which was created in 1963. And 25th of May is the day of the creation of Organization of Unity of Africa. And then with the will to engage in the more integrated Africa, because at the beginning it was the independence. Yes. All countries with the artificial inherited borders, countries were fighting for their independence. But then, with the time, they understood that integration is the real response. Yeah. Small countries, separated, dispersed, it's not the right way that we could engage in a sustainable development. So progress, and they were started to move towards the African Union, and at that time we had also a lot of leaders, among them the leader of Libya, Gaddafi, who actually was one of who championed this, and it's culminated in the Sirte Declaration, the 9 September 1999. Actually, this is the Africa Union Day. Okay. Wow. 25th of May, it's the OAU. Exactly. The African Union Day, it's the declaration of it, it's 9/9/99. Okay. So towards the African Union, and in 2000 you had the adoption of the Act in Togo, and then in 2001 the adoption of the implementation plan of the AU, and finally the launch of African Union in Durban in 2002, the new Africa Union, so the new organization really fighting and trying to materialize these integration. At the same time, there was also the development of the new Partnership for Africa. This was the new way African leaders and countries wanted to partner with the rest of the continent. So this is 2001, we celebrated now 20 years actually of AU. And another milestone is in 2013, AU developed this vision, the African Vision 2063. So African were thinking about 100 years, what will be the development of Africa. It's very visionary. Not a lot of continents has this wish to have such a, even the UN, we have the 2030 agenda. It's just 10 years. But African Union, they developed an agenda for at the horizon of 2063. And culture plays an important role. One of the aspirations of the African Union vision, the 2063 agenda, is aspiration 5, which envisions really Africa with culture, heritage, shared values, and ethics.
Talk a bit about the culture that you mentioned, because even a few days ago, a friend of mine and I were talking about the fact that now the world is talking about sustainability. These were things that our great-great-grandmothers used to do that we took for granted. How important is it, especially as we're celebrating African Union Day today, to look back and embrace our culture and our heritage as a people.
Yes, so that's what's interesting. You know, I think in one of the comments, you know, these big machines, say AU, the head of states, the big decisions there in Addis Ababa, and then difficult to see really the reality, how it's materialized in our daily exercises. But of course, we need those frameworks, and we need vision, you need frameworks, and then we need implementation, and to see how it's materialized in our daily. So it's really a commitment at this highest level to say that we have to recognize culture as a key pillar, a key leverage for development. UN also recognize it under the Sustainable Development Goal, which is the framework until 2030. Culture is not recognized as one of the SDGs, but it is under several SDGs recognizing the importance of culture, the importance of the contribution of culture and creative industries. More than 3% of GDP today worldwide. 30 million jobs in the works are in the creative and culture sectors. 250 billion annually in this area. So it's a sector which really is important for the economy. And now, beyond economy, to respond, I will say to your first question, our identity. You cannot move ahead if you don't know yourself, if you don't know how you are navigating in this great ecosystem. We are on the global village, but you have to know where you come from and how you will act, how you will play. So this is all about enhancing, revisiting, and transmitting our heritage.
I have a question. You know, the African Free Trade Continental Area, just help us to understand how it's going to benefit the continent in terms of arts, culture, and heritage.
Well, first of all, it is to be recognized that it's the largest free trade area in the world. 2 billion people, 55 countries. It's unique. It's unique. So maybe we don't understand yet what does it mean and what will it mean for an artist, for a painter, for a designer, for an author, for the book publishing industry. So for all these sectors, goods and services, well, it should be really a framework and a zone where things, movement, trade, exchanges should be easier, of course, and more. So this is it's a real opportunity to think, to imagine that well, from Tanzania to Senegal, or from Egypt to Harare, Zimbabwe, we could move more easily, and we could make business more easily also, and exchange. So it's a real opportunity. It's a real opportunity for culture, for the culture sector, for the African. And in Ghana, you are lucky that the Secretariat is based here. So we should see really how of course the country can benefit of it also. So it's a real opportunity. And again, I wanted to come really on the commitment at the continental level. It is important, says that 55 countries, the AU decided that this year, actually, the theme of this year is art, culture, and heritage levers for building the Africa we want. So it's an invitation.
Speaking of this theme, please tell us what UNESCO is and has been doing to promote this throughout the continent.
Well, as the UN agencies in charge of culture, we are the agency, this is our duty, this is our mandate to help member states separately or member states organized as AU or at the sub-regional with ECOWAS. So in this regard, we have a long-standing partnership with African Union. Actually, at the inception, we worked with partners with African Union to develop all these agenda. And I must say that personally, I was very privileged to be part of that conversation. At that time, the African Union Commission was chaired by former president of Mali, Alpha Oumar Konaré, a man of culture. So he pushed the agenda of culture. And this culminated in 2006 in Khartoum with a summit dedicated to education and culture. And it was at that summit that the Charter of African Culture Renaissance was adopted. It's a great charter, and it was only last year, in October 20, that this charter got into force. And it has been ratified. But I'm still inviting Ghana to finalize the instrument of ratification. But now the charter is in place, so it pleads for the Pan-Africanism, the heritage enhancements, protection, the World Heritage enhancement and protection, the valorization of our languages, and of course the recognition of culture, creative industries in the development of the continent.
Mr. Abdourahamane Diallo, we can talk about African unity all day long, but we've run out of time. Thank you so much for being with us and helping us appreciate this day and UNESCO's role in really promoting our culture and our heritage. And of course, there are challenges in this continent. There are places on this continent where you will go as an African and people will treat you badly, so today is also a day for us to reflect on that. We've come so far. We've come from the negritude movement, from the African identity movement. We used to have a united front. So how do we use this day as well to reflect on getting back to that and moving forward as a united front, as a continent, because that's the only way that we will get ahead.